one topic which we need to discuss, two things which she highlighted. I wanted to discuss that. So, final versus abstract. This question: does Java support multiple inheritance? This two questions which I wanted to discuss, which I saw in her PPT, the keywords. So, if you have your best friend, okay, and your worst enemy, let's say. So these two are opposite, personalities. So if there is a marriage, is my screen not visible, guys? So if there is a marriage in your family, how would you invite both of them? Your best friend, how would you inform, not invite rather, how would you inform both of these people? So will you inform this best friend that if you have time and there is holiday, you if then you can come if possible. Will you try to invite him like this? Yes, no, maybe. How will you invite your best friend? You must come. Must come, right? You'll use the you'll stress on must. You must come. Okay. And if there is a person who in any function which he comes is always embarrassing people and your mood, which is the marriage ceremony, you are in a good mood. I know by looking at this person's face, your mood, okay, won't remain the same. So you want this person to stay away, and you want to give him clear instruction that you please don't come, else I will call the police and hand you over to the police if I see you in that function. So how will you inform this person? You must not come. So the invitation or the information will be opposite to the best friend and to the worst enemy. Yes or no? So like this, these two are at the opposite poles, which abstract and final. So if I have a interface, okay, an interface, in that I have a method. So this is which method? Abstract method or non-abstract method? This is an abstract method. In an interface, by default, each method is public and abstract, correct? So I should not be giving implementation over here, correct? So now if I write a class test which implements A, what should be done to function A, function 1? What should So it must be overridden. What does it say? You have to override it with some implementation, correct? So a abstract function is must override function. What is an abstract function? So we are doing difference between abstract and final function, right? This paint also senses the geographical location where we are typing. See now as I'm typing over here, it is putting this into bold. Or have I activated it over here? That's why maybe. Okay, so abstract means in one word must override. So it's a must override method. What is the abstract method? Abstract method is a must override method. You have to compulsory override it to for it to make sense. Else it will not make any sense of declaring that function. That is the abstract method. Then what is a final method? So if I have a class X, in that I have a function. Okay, we have example. No, we have already taken the example. Amitabh, and Amitabh had told that the gold function is final. SOP. Okay, from Ram. Now class Abhishek does what? Class Abhishek extends Amitabh. Now can class Abhishek override the gold method? Why? Why no? So yes, final method can be inherited. It cannot be overridden. So you cannot override. Okay. You if you wish to override, not like that. You cannot override. Have I understood the difference between abstract and final method? So if I write abstract before a function name, compulsory you have to override. Else it will not make any sense. And if I write final before a function name, final cannot be overridden. Okay, if you don't override, it will give an error. Correct? If you don't override, it will throw. It will give an error. Okay. So you will say to your best, if you don't come, I will be sad. What will you tell him? If you don't come, I will be sad. And what will you tell to your worst enemy? If you override, it will give error. Correct? So if now Abhishek tries to override the final, that from Ranka, I will take another jeweler. Okay, now this jeweler you see behind the rickshaw hoods. So if he tries to override, what will happen? Will show a red line. Yes or no? So they are at the opposite spectrum. They are at the opposite spectrum. Like how these two people are at the opposite spectrum. Same. So if you don't override, it will throw an error. That if you don't override. So if I don't override this like this, so what it will say? Make the class test as abstract. What it will take? It will give you two options. It will give you either make the class test as abstract or implement the function. Okay. So you have to choose between any one of them. Okay. Yes or no. So if you don't override, it will give an error. Here, final, if you try to override, it will give you an error. So final function cannot be overridden, and abstract function must be override. So they both are okay. So this difference, learn this difference. Okay, these questions you can prepare for the interview. What is the difference between final and abstract? Okay. Now if I say India is the largest country, what should be the counter question if I tell you all this statement? What should be the counter question from the candidate or from the student? The counter question is, huh? Yes, sorry, Sharik. Largest means largest, no? If there are 100 countries, it is the largest means it is the largest compared to all the 99 countries. So if there are 204 countries, India is the largest, means it is larger than the 203. So here, the counter question is, in what context? In what context? Are you talking in context with geographical area? Then you are wrong because India is not the largest geographical country. Are you talking in regards to educational institutes? Then I don't know. Are you talking in regards to sugarcane production? Then also I don't know. Are you talking with regards to motorcycles, product users? So in what context are you talking of? Okay, is it the largest GDP? So we don't, so you have to define the context, right? Then the question will make sense. So if in the interview the examiner asks, define a final keyword in Java, what he says, okay. So you can ask, sir, is are you expecting me to answer in a particular context? तो वो बोलेगा नहीं, okay, tell me whatever you know about final keyword. So you can say final keyword has three contexts. Final keyword has, it can be prefixed to a data member also. So when I prefix it to a data member, what does it become? You cannot, non-modifiable. It becomes what? Once I initialize the value, that you cannot modify that value. So final to a data member. So if I write over here final double pi equals to 3.14, can I go and change the value of pi later on? No. So once I write final before data member, it becomes non-modifiable. You cannot modify the value. Then you cannot say pi equals to 3.15. Then it will not permit you. And the standard notation for writing a final variable is in all capitals. Okay. Okay. This is final before data member. If I write final before a method, it becomes non-overridable. It becomes what? So it becomes non-overridable. Means you cannot override that function. Correct? And if you write final before a class name, if I write over here final class Amitabh, then this class is a sealed class. Which is a which class? Sealed class means you cannot inherit this class. So if class Abhishek tries to extend Amitabh, it will give an error. That final class cannot be inherited. So non-inheritable, non-inheritable. So all non. So final. So if they ask you final keyword in Java, so do not answer in one word that it is not modifiable. You can take your own time, okay, and make it into an open-ended question. What is the open-ended question? What is the closed-ended question? Omer, look out, peep out of your window and tell me whether it is raining. If the question is this, what will you answer it? Yes or no. Okay, so that is called as close-ended question. What is that called as? Close-ended question, which answer in one word. Answer in one word or few words. Okay, one word. So yes or no, true or false. MCQs are all close-ended questions. Okay, and but open-ended questions are descriptive questions. Okay, so if I ask Umar, will India win the World Cup? So he says, sir, going by the batting strength, we are in good shape, but the bowling looks quite weak, and we are falling short of a genuine all-rounder also. And as the World Cup is in Bangladesh, we need a good spin attack, and we are not having good spinners. So I will again reiterate the question. Umer, I said, will we win the World Cup? Answer in close-ended question. So he will say no. So if you are asked this question final, will you treat it as a close-ended question or open-ended question? Yes, you treat it as an open-ended question and say final keyword as per my understanding as three contexts. It can be prefixed to a data member also, to a method also, or to a class also. While prefixing it to a data member, we write the common universal annotation is we declare that as we write that in all capital letters and we initialize it there itself. Okay, so final will be declared and initialized at the same time. And once we initialize it with a value, then later on we cannot reinitialize it or reassign any value. That is final data. Final method is declared in a parent class. Once I declare a method parent in a final, once I declare a method final in a parent class, then that method can be inherited, but it cannot be overridden in the subclass. Correct? And if I prefix the final before a class definition, then that class becomes a sealed class, and that class cannot be inherited. Yes, no, maybe getting it. Oh, so the same question is this also. So this is a open-ended question. This also a very common question. Does Java support multiple inheritance? And people treat this as a close-ended question, and the spontaneous answer which the candidate gave is no, a big fat no. Wherein this question should have been treated as an open-ended question. So we have two okay objects or types in Java which we have written so far: class and interface. Correct? Okay. Now this question, does Java support multiple inheritance, is to be answered separately for both of these types. So you can say, sir, if you asking me with regards to a class, then my answer is a close-ended question, no. With regards to classes, Java does not support multiple inheritance, but Java has given its equivalent, okay, or a workaround that if there is a situation where the demand arises that we have to do some multiple inheritance, then we can use what? Interfaces. So one interface can extend from another interfaces, and one interface can extend from multiple interfaces simultaneously. Okay, so let me show it to you all. Let me open up my notepad screen. My notepad is down. So things have to be understood very, very clearly. Class A, okay, class B. Is this permissible, Ali? Is this permissible? Yes, no, maybe. Very good. Clap hands for Ali, guys. And you just sprinkle some cold water on your face and come back and sit. Shruti, is this possible? Why no? Yes, multiple inheritance with regards to classes is not possible. So this is not possible. One class can extend only from one class. So at a time, one class can have only one parent. At any given point of time, one class will have one parent. So who is the parent of A? Who is the parent of A? Huh? A itself is the parent. Very good. Anyone? Yes, object. This is extending from because every class in Java inherits from the object. Who is the parent of B? Ziad, who is the parent of B class? I know, I knew it. You will say classic. I just wanted to hear it from you. Is class A the parent of class B, Shakur? Ziad, you also go and sprinkle some cold water on your face. I have written over here extends A, Ziad. Then how come it became the parent? Just that it is written on top means it's a parent. So is this possible? It is possible. But can one class inherit from two classes simultaneously? This is called multiple inheritance and it is not permissible with regards to classes. But this same can be done when I do interfaces. When I do interface. So interface A, okay, interface B, and as we are inheriting, we'll have to use the extends keyword only. A class implements a interface. Interface does not implement a interface, okay? So interface B extends, yeah. And this also is possible. Okay. Let's say like this if I write over here interface C. So now it can extend interface D can extend B and C both. This is possible. So does Java support multiple inheritance? With regards to classes? With regards to interface, it supports, right? And with regards to classes, it does not support. Correct? Okay. Now let me give you all some permutations with regards to. So now see what all the legalities we have when we discuss interface. Okay. So let's discuss. So interface A has void function 1. Will it have an implementation? No, correct? Interface B has void function 2. So interface C, can it extend A comma B? Yes, no, maybe. Yes. Yes. And now it has void function 3. Okay. So if a class D implements C, how many functions does it have to override for it to be instantiated? Yes, absolutely. So function 1, it has to override some, give some implementation, and function 2, then only it will become a concrete class and we can instantiate it, correct? If class D only overrides these two methods, now no, then we have to make it into an abstract class. Okay, then we have to make it into an, yeah, it will insist us that it will not throw an error, it will request us either you implement that or turn it into an abstract class. That is the option we have. Okay. Now I have, okay, so y'all got this question. Okay, so I'll just keep on. So if I have a, yes, Shakur? No, no, no. That's why we have not done. No, we have not implemented three. Interface T has three methods. No, two it has inherited and three of its own, and this is only implementing two. So there's still one room left. So that's why it is abstract. Okay. Now we have class X, class Y. Ziad, I want you to answer this. Is this possible? Yes. How come it is possible? It is doing two things, no? And this is a class. Due to sprinkle water and come. Okay, now he's gone. Yes, Umar, is it possible? उमर मुझे पनवेल के लिए निकलना है पनवेल के लिए थोड़ी देर में जल्दी बोल so extends what is it saying extends what how many classes so can class extend one class and it was also implementing an interface which is also possible so a class as long as it is extending one class it can implement interfaces getting it this is also permissible this is also permissible okay. So a class can simultaneously extend a class and implement interface as long as it is extending one class. Make sense? Oh, what are the two classes and what are the two interfaces? Hmm? Hmm. Now, is this possible? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, it is possible. How many classes is it extending? One. After that, n number of interfaces a class can implement. There is no restriction on that. How many interfaces it implements. As long as it is not extending multiple classes, interface is not a concern. This also is valid. This also is a valid state. Am I understood? Is this also? Yes, yes. As long as it is extending one class, implement the number of interface it is implementing is not a concern. It's also the valid statement. Okay. And so is this class D implement C, is it valid? Yes. And why is it called abstract? Because when you said implement C, you were supposed to implement three methods because C has extended A and B. Means C has function 1, function 2, and function 3. And when you implement an interface, you are supposed to implement all its interfaces, all its methods. You have to override all its methods. But what has this class overridden? Only two methods. So one method was still abstract, and if a class contains even a single abstract method, that class becomes a abstract class. Okay, getting it? So these are fine things which I wanted to discuss, the use cases I wanted to discuss with regards to abstract class and you want me to share this this one, the file or this notepad, no,